not sure what kind of night you had in your part of the country, but in Lincolnshire last night it were horrendous. The rain was thrashing down all night long and the winds were back as well, so I was a bit worried when I came out this morning that a lot of these plants could have suffered some really bad damage. As it's turned out, they seem okay. We have got one tumbling tom plant, however, that's looking a bit worse for wear, but we did dig that up about a week ago and repot it. But I've got a funny feeling that this container has just had way too much water over the last few days. I'm hoping it's going to pull through, but it is looking quite bad, and I've noticed a bit of spotting on leaves as well, so I'm hoping that is not early blight. I'll show you the plant. This is that tomato plant. It does look a little sorry for itself, and we've got a bit of leaf curl. That could be due to the wind, but on this leaf in particular we've started getting a bit of spotting, so that could be blight. And if it is, and you get that on yours, you need to separate that plant away from everything else, because it can spread, and it will spread to your peppers as well. So we're putting this there on its own and see what happens with it. It's got loads and loads of flowers on it though. Can't see any tomatoes though. So as somebody else did say on channel quite recently, flowers, no fruit, or very few flowers. It's certainly been a strange year. One thing that rain does seem to have done is made these pods swell up even more. I think I'm going to take a couple of these off today, because if you don't pull your peas, it'll stop producing flowers and then the plant will just stop growing altogether. So if we take a few off, it's probably going to help this plant. We'll see how big these peas are now in comparison to what they were just a few days ago. I am only taking the biggest ones. You can see that's a really good fat one. There's got to be something worthwhile in there surely. We're going to be finding out very soon. I think that's all I'm taking off for now. I'm going to open one up and hope we've got something decent. We've got a mixture in there. Some are quite good, but we've still got some quite tiny ones. We've just got to open them all now. That one's a lot better. They're proper size peas. And they're consistent all the way up as well. We're not going to get enough for a meal, but we can take small batches of peas and freeze them if we want to. Again, they're perfect. You don't want to leave them to get much bigger than that, otherwise they'll start and go hard, and they'll start and turn white as well. You'll see that first on pods. So it's better to take them as soon as you can. And then you've got more chance of new pods growing. Again, a really good one. And another. So we actually got some decent peas from there. Really good size. So all's not bad actually. We have now got proper sized peas that we're looking for. We just don't have as many pods as we'd like, and that's probably down to weather. But if you don't pull them pods off when they're about ready, they'll stop producing, as I mentioned earlier. So it's best to take them slightly smaller and continue that growth in that plant. And also at this time of year, you can sow some fresh plants and keep them going, because even as it gets to autumn and it starts to drop colder, them plants will carry on growing quite happily. So we'll soak some peas and we'll get some more plants done at some point this week. At least that way we can double his chance of getting a good harvest. But at least all the rest of his plants made it through last night. It was quite worrying because it did get very bad. But at least there's Webb's Wonder lettuce. Seems to be thriving in these conditions. So that's really good news. I did also notice in this planter we've got a pepper plant, and that's got a good sized pepper on it. It's also got a smaller one as well, and plenty of flowers, and that's a proper round bell pepper. Albeit slow, things are growing. Unfortunately his cucumber plant seems to be struggling. That's that mini stars one. Some of the foliage is starting to die back. It's probably because the plant is just getting too wet all the time. There's not much I can do about that. We have, however, got another little cucumber trying to grow. And those runner beans have started working their way up those poles now. So it's going to be a bit later than usual, but it looks like we're going to get something. And that's that tomato plant that wasn't looking really well. And if you look, that's the problem we had. But I've noticed now the leaves starting to brown. That's not a good sign. So what I'm going to do is cut all them branches off, because all the foliage above looks alright, and there's loads and loads of flowers growing as well. Really big cluster there, and at the base. But this one has got a tomato on it. So we'll get rid of that dying foliage and hope it improves condition of this plant. Well, as always, we're making best of a bad job. I'm really pleased that those peas are now ready, so we can start and take harvests. And even if we ain't got enough for a meal, we can just gradually keep freezing them until we've got a big bag full. At least that's the plan. And we'll sow some fresh seeds, or we'll get some new plants, and we'll set another container of those going as well. What's going to happen with that Tumbling Tom tomato plant, I don't know at the moment, but we have got about 5 more, so it's not like we're going to be short of tomatoes anyway. So for a miserable, rainy July day, we'll leave it there, and we'll see how they progress through the rest of the week. And hopefully, eventually, this weather is going to pick up and give us the summer that we've all been waiting for. If you want to see how we get on through the rest of this week, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.